Hey YouTube, Peterbilt Knife Guy, and today we're going to be taking a look at a sweet little EDC fixed blade, the KIZER Mini Harpoon. So this is just going to be a tabletop review. I'm not going to do any usage tests in this one. Usually, if you watch my channel for any period of time, I like to show the knives and then use the knives. But it's absolutely miserable out today, so we're just going to be doing a tabletop. KIZER did send me this. I actually reached out to him. Now, KIZER is one of the only companies that I've actually personally reached out to for knives twice, and they were nice enough to send them to me. This is the second one. The first one is still to this day, you see I was using it today, is this KIZER Smolt. I can't even say it. Smolt. I love this thing. Ever since I had it, ever since they sent it to me and I did the review, I've carried this thing on me every single day. I absolutely love this knife. I put an ulti clip on here, and yeah. So when I seen this guy, I knew I had to ask. They were nice enough to send it to me, so here we are. First off, just comes in your standard KIZER box. Here's your information if you are interested. It is a 3V blade. That was actually the main reason, and that's the same thing with this guy. This is in 3V, and 3V just happens to be one of my favorite steels. I know it's not the best for edge retention, but I just like 3V. Deal with it. So when I seen there was another one that come out with some 3V, I was like, a 3V EDC fixed blade, gotta have it. So let's get into this box. Now I have noticed that their boxes are hard to get into. I don't know why. There we go. Yeah, comes with actually a really nice box on the inside. You know I don't care about boxes. Comes with your blown whatever. Your comes with a lanyard. Comes with a nice little microfiber cloth, your silica beads, and some literature, which I haven't even opened up and looked at, and I have no intention on opening up and looking at it. Oh, and a sticker. How'd that sneak by? Cool little sticker, another one for the safe. So now that we got the box and the packaging out of the way, let's get into this knife. Now, the second thing that caught my attention is, I don't know why, but lately I've been kind of going for things with colors. I used to be very plain Jane, and I still do like plain Jane stuff. Just solid, neutral colors, black, desert tan, you know, stuff like that, gray. But I've been branching out in colors, and this one is all kinds of colors. This is actually G10. They called it Damascus G10. I've never heard of it. I imagine it's just like what it sounds like. It just kind of like swirled around. I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you, but it is neat. Nice little Kydex sheath. Comes with these clips, which I absolutely despise, but I mean, that's just me personally. They work just fine. If you want to run your knife either vertically or horizontally or even upside down, however you want to do it, they just don't work for me. Not bad, so whatever. It's just a standard taco style sheath. You guys have a really nice little thumb ramp push here, which is sweet. And the blade. This is the mini Harpoon because they have a larger Harpoon. Not much billboarding on this side, and not much on this side either, which is nice. As you can see, it's a Mavericks Customs mini Harpoon in 3V. Yeah, so it's a tiny knife, and it's very functional. The one thing that I noticed when I got it right off the bat, though, look how thin that tip is. Now, 3V should be relatively tough. I do not know the HRC on this knife. If I look it up, I'll put it in here, but if I don't, then yeah. But you would have to use this as an EDC knife. This is a very, very thin profile EDC knife. Where is my freaking tape measure? Now, it's probably in millimeters, but let's see. We're less than 1/8 of an inch on the thickness. It's a full flat grind. It's got a little swedge. You got this little, you know, Harpoon cutout, which is awesome for your thumb. Now, if you can see, I have used this actually quite a bit. I made a bunch of feather sticks. Now this is not a feather sticking or bushcrafting knife, but I have a wood stove, and yeah, for the last couple nights I've actually started my wood stove with shavings from using this knife. I did find out a couple things doing that. One, you know, when you do it like this, you're really limited to the front use of the knife. You know, you kind of got to hold it back here to get this back part. And two, I did actually, and this is something to be aware of. I don't know if it's a problem because I have big fat sausage fingers, but if you're not careful, that is sharp right to the end right there. And what I ended up doing was I came down on it and I nicked myself. It's already healed. It wasn't well, that long ago, but I did actually, oh, see, I can do it right now. I'm actually cut my finger a little bit. But if you're not careful, you will slice your finger on that. I was lucky enough not to get it deep. It just kind of went through the top layers of callus there. So that is one thing to note when holding this knife. Other than that, it's really comfortable. Just be careful choking up on it. It is a cardboard monster. I've already done, I think, a couple shorts on it doing cardboard. It slices fantastic. I mean, it's super thin, full flat grind, kind of a little swedge up there. Another thing I found interesting about this knife, and I do not think it is a plus, is the texture. The KIZER Smalt has more of a shiny, smooth texture, and I mean, I've used this every freaking day for a couple months now. It is literally, these have replaced my my folders. EDC fixed blades have changed my life, but it's smooth, glossy, nothing to get hung up on. This is kind of a textured finish, which is weird. It's, I don't know if you can hear that. Smooth texture, which does kind of drag a little bit in certain things. Not too bad, but I don't understand the reason for going with a textured finish on this knife. It's supposed to be an EDC slicer. Why would you put anything on here that's going to be less than slicey? I don't know. So yeah, let's get this out of the way. Let's do some size comparisons here. I'm not going to really go through specs on here. It is 3V, it is G10. Let's just do some rough ones for you here. You got like a 3-inch blade, and you're about 6.5 overall. And from that little sharp choil, you have 4 5/8 or 3 5/8. And you know, if you have larger hands like me, you're not going to get a full grip on this, but it is nice with that little cutout right there. It's really comfortable, actually. If you had smaller hands, I imagine it would probably be the same, but yeah, so that this little notch, this little cutout right here kind of falls between my pinky and ring finger right there and gives me a solid grip. It's actually really comfortable. Yeah, height of the blade, let's go in rough measurements here. It is right at 1 inch, so it's 1 inch tall, less than 1/8 stock. That's all the specs you're going to get from me. Let's do some size comparisons here. So the KIZER Mini Harpoon, the KIZER Smalt, both in 3V. God, I can't say enough good things about this knife. This knife's awesome. This knife has just never left my side yet. Let's go to another one. Another great knife. This is a Vosteed Mink. This is the smaller version because they have the Mink and the Mink XL. It has custom Carl Thomas or custom Lucas Carroll scales on here. I don't know why I always say Carl Thomas, but it's a little bit smaller than this guy. And then the next one that's probably closest to it is the Reef Knives F3, also in 3V. So we got 3 3V knives here, 1 Nitro V, at least it has a V in its name. Yeah, so there's your size comparisons. Let's get these off the table. As for the edge retention on this guy, I have found that with the Smalt, you know, and it actually was a thicker grind. I mean, look at the Smalt tip right here. And then you can look at this, the Mini Harpoon. The smolt is 1/8 inch stock, so we got a little less stock, but look at that tip. That is a tiny tip. That is a Steinz versus Knives tip right there. It is microscopic. But on the edge grinds, you can just see this has a 20 degree. This also has a 20 degree, but you can just look at the size of the bevels there. This one's just a little bit bigger because it is thicker behind the edge. I did have to thin this one out. It did have, I wouldn't say edge retention problems, but I would say that the edge retention got better as I sharpened it a couple times. This one hasn't been an issue yet. I don't know if it's because it's thinner. Geometry, right? Geometry. But it came wicked sharp right out of the box. I did use it a bunch, and all I've done is strop it. And yeah, it is just wicked sharp. That freaking tip is just, it's just too much. You want a little pointy tip. You know what I did do with this? I pulled out a sliver. This is a sliver getting knife right here. So if you need an EDC sliver puller, check this one out for sure. I'm gonna tell you right now, it works perfect. Hey, you can still see where I pulled it out of my finger right there. Anyways, TMI, right? So the KIZER Mini Harpoon, it's a sweet little knife. I like the way it looks. I don't know why, but I really dig this this pattern on here for some reason. They do come in different flavors. They do come with different steels, different handle scales. Yeah, this just happens to be this version of it. I believe they do have a Black Friday sale or a sale going on right now. If it is, it'll be in the description. You can check that out. I don't know what percentage off, but I think you do get a percentage off. So if you're interested in one, go check it out. These just became available not that long ago. The Mini Harpoon's been around for a while, but this flavor of 3V Mini Harpoon just came out not that long ago. So if you're interested in one, go check it out. I recommend it. I will do a use video on this or another video where I'm using it. So stay tuned. KIZER Mini Harpoon. Thanks for watching.